Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nuge. And Ted, I hope you had a great Easter weekend last weekend. You and I have talked since then a bunch. I know you were around your family and friends and hunting and enjoying the outdoors and just the faith of being Christians. And that's important. But boy, I tell you, I don't think everyone's celebrating like we do, Ted. I'm sure you saw last week, San Francisco, young swimmer Riley Gaines, who's taken the controversial position that men are men and women are women, and that boys should go into the boys' bathroom and compete against boys, and girls should compete against girls. And you'll remember, Ted, Riley is the young lady that had to swim against William Thomas. I mean, Leah Thomas, the swimmer for the University of Pennsylvania that was a man. And by the way, that man was ranked 462 in boys swimming and then became a woman and then beat everyone and set all kinds of records. But in any event, Ted, Riley Gaines is in San Francisco to give her talk on the controversial subject, and she was viciously attacked.
Well, certainly everybody's been watching this. I hope everybody's been watching this. I want to thank everybody for joining us on the Nightly News, because we got the balls to stand up for truth, logic, and common sense, good over evil. And clearly, the Democrats and the left, as personified in the feces and needles, homeless, violent crime explosion of San Francisco, they stand for evil over good. And as the world burns down behind a CNN reporter, they claim that the protest was mostly peaceful. Everybody sees this. But again, if you're celebrating truth, logic, and common sense, goodwill, decency, and certainly good over evil on the Nightly News, you've got to get raising hell. You've got to let all your elected employees know. And again, I've mentioned it before, everybody who works for you, everybody that we voted for, or anybody that was appointed, especially in the so-called justice system, we have got to raise our healthy voice and identify that when people are viciously attacking and punching and assaulting somebody on film, that the media and the San Francisco leftists are lying. It was a vicious, violent, threatening attack against Riley Gaines, who's standing up for the most pure, indisputable truth that men are men and they can't get pregnant, and women are women and they can't get you pregnant. This is planet of the cuckoo's nest. It is just so toxic. This brave woman, a big salute to the law enforcement that helped get her through without her losing her life, because the drag queen, transgender Michael Moore fan club is just evil. They are nasty and filled with hate and rage. And if you dare stand up and say that men should not be allowed to destroy women's athletic records, people who are against that are pure evil. They have no soul. Now, if you want to be transgender and be weird and men dress up like women, you can do that, I suppose, but we're going to watch it because that's so weird as to indicate that danger is on the horizon. But when you start forcing it into athletics and you start forcing it into children's school and you hold drag queen events in Texas where fat, perverted men dress up like female prostitutes and sing, "I love it when you kiss me where I pee." That's who these people are. They're perverted, they're deranged, they're evil, they're toxic, and they're against God's miraculous creation that is epitomized by a nuclear family, mom, dad, discipline, nurturing, discipline, guidance, discipline, education, true north compass setting. The left is on a due south compass setting, and we've got to put an end to that. We have got to stop these people and not allow this kind of violent assault to happen. We're praying for Riley Gaines and all these people who are standing up for truth, logic, and common sense and the science that the XY chromosome is different than the XX chromosome. This is controversial on what planet?
Yeah. You know what, Ted? They're not going to charge any of those people because they said it was peaceful, but I saw on video they had Riley Gaines holed up in a back room because she couldn't get out. And they said, "We will leave if you pay us." That to me, Ted, sounds like kidnapping and ransom.
And I believe that Riley is now getting some attorneys who will stand up for good over evil and truth, logic, and common sense and justice, that rare entity. And I believe that this was a kidnapping. This was certainly a violent assault. And these people need to be held accountable. But in San Francisco, where they're actually rewarding death, they're actually rewarding heroin and methamphetamine and fentanyl use on the streets, on the way to children's schools. So the San Francisco, the Gavin Newsoms of the world are virtually untrustworthy and dangerous to the quality of life in the United States of America. So once again, my friends, if you're not raising hell, Nancy Pelosi would like to rip up your State of the Union address live on TV, committing a felony where she's not held accountable. And if you like that, if you like America turning into Cuba, shame on you. We've got to raise hell and demand accountability. If we, the people, don't demand accountability, there sure as hell won't be any.
Tomorrow night, Ted, I want to talk about another attack on democracy. It happened down in Tennessee. And it's so funny that the people that said the J6 protesters ought to be locked up in jail and the key thrown away, they're taking a completely different tone on something that was way worse in Tennessee than what went on in Washington, D.C. Let's get into that tomorrow night right here on another edition of The Nightly Nooch.
Truth, logic, common sense. It will set you free. Let's get some.